Hey guys, welcome back. This is just a brief intro to tell you. This isn't what you're about to watch is a video from our podcast to the last drop, which I do with DM.com. It comes out every Thursday, and you can find it on all major platforms. But yeah, this is an interview we did with Ox Nche. A rather fun interview to do, I must say, where Ox talks about his love for cognac, his love for cake, obviously, which everybody knows, and why he wasn't going to take any cake from the French after they beat them in the quarterfinal. So, yeah, have a watch and go look for the podcast. It's really a lot of fun. We do it every Thursday, and yeah, go have a look for it. Thanks. Cheers. Welcome back. This is To the Last Drop. I'm Brendan Null. I'm back. I was gone last week. Liam filled in very well for me. I listened to the episode. I quite enjoyed it there. Liam Delcom's with me, and we've got a special guest today, all the way from Durban. World Cup winner, Ox Nche. Welcome, Liam. Welcome, Ox.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Brandon. Thank you for having us. Yeah,
I have
me.
to say, Ox, you still have that World Cup winning glow about you. I hope that lasts for a very long time.
I think it's a lighting layer, mate. I think it's a lighting.
Now, Ox, obviously, I suppose the first question, I mean, we all saw what happened at the World Cup. We saw the impressive trophy tour afterwards. First of all, how did you survive that trophy tour? Because it looked extremely long and taxing in so many different ways, not just the length of it, but I'm sure there was some lubrication on the buses as well. And just, yeah, what have you been doing in your 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks that you've had off?
Well, yeah, the trophy, it was fairly taxing. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Probably like tried to sleep at least 6 hours every single day, and that's how I kept going. Um, and then, afterwards, when I came to Durban just to look at my places so far, and then went back home, and then, did a few things back home, and then yeah, now and went to Malanga for some off time, took a break, and then I came back to Durban.
I know you guys have been away from home for a very long time, and obviously you used to touring. I mean, you toured in what Super Rugby and obviously URC and so on, and now with the Springboks. This trophy tour, I take it there were moments where you longed for home just as much as you perhaps did in Auckland or if you were in Cardiff or wherever.
Actually, funny enough, like, cause that's what after we won, like, we finally get to go home and see family, and then during the trophy tour, you actually like you get a moment you like actually it means a lot more for like people of South Africa being on the tour than actually being home, and I think that's when you're like, you know what, I have one more week in me. I'm just gonna go out, and then as much as I wanted to go home, but I felt like for me it was more important than like to be on a bus tour to see the kids' faces, to see the joy on people's faces. It's just it's just wholesome.
I was going to ask you, have you felt like your life has changed now that you're a World Cup winner? I mean, Beast was there the last one. You came into the Bok team basically just after that, and established yourself. But this last 4 year journey, does it feel like it's anything different? And have you noticed people sort of change towards you now that you're a World Cup winner?
Yeah, fairly. I mean, it's weird because I used to it was like I'd walk into a mall and I'd walk out just fine, walk in, get what I need to get and get out. And now you walk into a mall and you like, yeah, that's Ox. Then even like now people that you've always been like you go to the same shops and then you've been walking past them, beating them. All of a sudden now you have to stop, take pictures and all of that. But it's, I mean, there's been a massive change, and but I'm enjoying it.
I can imagine. We saw that video. I'm sure you also saw the Makazole trying to go to Spa and people breaking out in song. You haven't had that happen to you. You just yet, have you?
I did actually. I was literally in Bloemfontein, and I went to the garage in the morning. I was driving back to Durban, and I don't know, like three people noticed me, like the workers there, and then all of a sudden they started singing, and I was like, hey, I'm just trying to get out of here.
Have things ended up on your plate or on your table as a result of your fame?
Yeah, really. I mean, Woolworths came through with some cake, and gave me like I could. They said I could go to any Woolworths in the country and get myself cake, which is, I mean, fantastic. And as well as Hasako. So as I was saying, anytime I need a steak, I can go there and have a few steaks.
So,
Do you
So
have a favorite cake? Do you have a favorite cake?
chocolate caramel cake,
Oh.
and and then I saw actually recently, I think it was 2 days ago, who was had a collaboration with like Chateau, like the cake company,
Mm.
and they actually like had a similar like um, a different chocolate caramel, but it looks delicious. I think Brendan
Mm.
would enjoy
Maybe
I
it
don't know
sounds
if
like
we
there
have.
should be one dedicated to you.
it.
I'm not a big. I must admit, I don't really have a sweet tooth. I'm more. My problem is more some of the brewery stuff that sort of catches me. But but yeah, I mean, you become quite famous on social media for your cakes and that. And I mean, as you say, you've got some nice offers there. I was just wondering, Alan Temple Jones is still your guys' fitness guy, isn't he? Has he been? Has your fitness team been handling the cake offers?
So unfortunately TJ left, and I think he's with the Irish Sevens now. But Quinton, Krieger is our new conditioning guy. But you know what? They said as long as the numbers add up on the GPS, I can still maintain my cake life.
This is from a man who studied statistics but refuses to count calories.
Well, I think that's a good motto to live by. So,
Yeah.
now,
Tell me, Ox, you've got kind of a special place in Springbok fans' hearts. I mean, you've sort of crept your way in there, and uh, I won't say made yourself at home because people kind of have to invite you in. But the point is, you are a much loved character already. Is they That's not something that you cultivated. All this comes naturally. I mean, you're a guy who smiles often, and you have a particular relationship with new people that you meet. You take it all in your stride. I take it.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, like my mom always taught me, like, people will always forget what you say or what you say to them, and probably like what you even do to them, but like how you make them feel will always like stay in their hearts. And I think that's what I've like, and from a young age, that's what I've always tried to do, like just leave a certain like positive impact in people's lives. And yeah, I guess it just grew on me and became part of my personality.
I'm going to ask a rugby
Yeah.
question somewhere around here, I suppose. Liam? This is- and I'll ask it because I know Liam was then. You've probably been asked this somewhere around the last couple of weeks of the World Cup, but the obvious thing that comes to mind straight away when we think about you is obviously the scrumming against England, and that second half performance. Just maybe from your point of view, when you came on, I mean, it was pretty tense at that time. You guys were pretty behind, and just your performance turned the game. You got a lot of compliments, a lot of plaudits for it. Just from your point of view, how did you see those last minutes, and how did it feel when you came onto that field?
To be honest, like we were sitting on the bench and then we were watching the game because we could literally like obviously see the guys that were starting like doing all the work even though the ball wasn't like really bouncing in our favor. But we could see, and I remember Pollard saying by the time we get on, the forwards should have would be broken already. And same with Ache and Kwach. It says, but the only thing that we have to do is just be critical in what we do. Like, don't do anything that's out of the natural or force things. Like, do anything that you think what will help the team. And I think it's I mean, Pollard came on and he did what he does best. Iceman. Same with our G's. Like, what, standard, boys. We just do what we practice in the week, and I think by then the guys that started had already done their job. And for me, I was like, what, as well, I'm just trying to I'm also gonna try and make a contribution. And then, I mean, it went well. We were all aligned, and plan worked, I guess.
You've obviously come into a setup that has been successful. Obviously, there's been World Cup success. There's been success in the rugby champs and so on against the Lions as well. Um, and obviously, the guys play with a certain confidence. They have confidence about them in the way they do their job. Even when they are backs to the wall, they find a way of winning. How does a guy that comes into that environment, how does that rub off? How do you build up that similar confidence to sort of fight your way out of a corner the way the more experienced guys have been able to do?
To be honest, you find your way, like you said, like you, because I mean, what Steven gives to the team is different from what I give to the team. So I can't expect I can't expect myself to fight out of a corner the way Steven does. So, and it's the same way with every single player. Like you find you like your
Mm.
what keeps you going
Mm.
as a
Your
player.
own self belief, basically.
Exactly how your reason for even playing rugby. You understand? So and differs for and you let that take you out of the corner because I mean we like Coach Ross and Coach Rock will always like tell you like they pick warriors and warriors always like kind of they're selfless and have purpose. So once you find that and it just becomes easy, you can apply the way like yourself the way that is expected of you, something that is within your nature, and not something that is unnatural to you.
Uh, Ox, I mean, that World Cup winners medal must be something special. I saw know a lot of your teammates wore it on the trophy tour. Have you got a special place for it? And just what does it mean to you to have that? I mean, I know as a rugby player, you've got lots of awards and things, and probably a bit of a shrine, a trophy covered there somewhere in your house. But where does that figure for you, and what does it mean that nobody can take that thing away from you?
It's on the top shelf. It's for me, it's being a part of history, being able like you said, and being like being a part of history, being in people's hearts, in the memories, and I think that's the most important thing for me is the thing that, and it's on the top shelf. Like I don't think anything beats that.
I was going to
Mm.
follow up. You weren't going to be like Sonny Bill Williams and give your medal away to anybody, I take it.
No
Too
comments.
precious, too precious at the moment.
Very precious.
Ox,
I
do you have
just,
a stand? Obviously, the winning the trophy is a big moment, and sort of going onto the podium and collect your medal that's huge. But during the tournament, is there a standout moment for you? Do you have a favorite moment out of the? I don't know. You were away for how many? A lot of weeks.
Or like from our team in general, uh, would probably be that that's probably probably the last moments against the French where we're defending and just Fouch just came in there and ripped the ball out and just to like I still remember the sound of that stadium vividly. How it just felt like the fans were on the field. And then when Faf got into a tackle and ripped the ball, and it just all went, and it was just us. You could like, I could feel all our teammates on the field. I think that moment was like, it's a special. It's worth it. It's worth being away from home. It's
Did you did you feel or did you sense that the locals' demeanor changed towards you guys in the last 2 weeks?
uh, yeah, I think naturally, like, they were pretty heartbroken, but yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I had a few moments where you kind of had to sort of think twice before you identified yourself as being South African.
Exactly.
there were no offers of cake then from the French there for you then, obviously.
They were. I just had my suspicions about having him.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Just coming back to obviously the Sharks now. You've now been away. You've had some time off. Team's been struggling. Obviously, they haven't had the greatest start to the URC this year. And you guys get back. You come from the high of a World Cup final. One, it must be nice to be back in sort of familiar surroundings. But Isn't that a bit difficult to come from that high back to playing sort of URC rugby again? How do you approach that?
I mean, it's the same. So, yeah, like I've been asked that question before, and I say it's the same because, I mean, you, as a player, you kind of set a certain standard for yourself, and there's like, you want to perform a certain way, you want to leave a certain picture, obviously, with every single game you play. And for me, it's honestly saying, you know what, this is how played at the World Cup, and from here, I need to just get better and apply myself more, and obviously help the team where I need to help them, and that's just my mindset.
Do you feel that there is also more pressure, especially from the returning Springboks, for you guys to sort of pitch up and deliver from the first moment, given the position that the Sharks were in, and now obviously you guys are the high-profile players, and you need to deliver?
Not actually. Like, I mean, Coach Plummer is pretty honest. He's like he's a straightforward guy, and he'll tell, like, he's honest with what is needed. And I think he's same with him. He says, you know what, do what you're good at, and apply yourself wherever you can, help wherever you can, and obviously, just be patient and enjoy every single moment.
The fact that the UFC is a long competition, it's a bit of a marathon. I take it teams can sort of take solace out of that, especially if you have a bad start. You know that this tournament is long enough for you to sort of build momentum and sort of redress the things that may have gone wrong for you earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, it's not like you can have a bad start, but then you can still like be able to finish and like top of the log. I mean, we've seen that with teams in history, and so I mean, our aim is just from here, how can we get better and how can we improve to make sure that we get like good results every single weekend from here on.
We've got to ask you the question, because this is obviously, this podcast is also about wine and sitting back with a glass of something there. When you sit back at the end of the day, what is your what do you sit back to enjoy and relax with, and what pairs better with the cake?
I reckon a glass of cognac, preferably Douce. Has a lot of, like, it's smooth, has a lot of flavor, and that's my go-to. What pays well with cake? Cake stands alone.
If you say cognac, you do you drink brandy at all?
I mean, I am from the Free State.
Well, then you have to have obligation. That's you have to.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, they call it Bucky Baclay juice, eh? What's it? That's the
Benoni.
But yeah, I mean, look, cognac's obviously a lot more refined, and you drink it very differently to brandy. But some of those rugby players have, like John Smith and them, have launched now brandy. Have you had that one yet?
Avante.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't actually. Like, we got a few bottles. Like, every player got a bottle, but I haven't opened it yet. Like, I just feel like it looks pretty
You like
good.
the box?
The bottle. I like the bottle.
So I mean, there seems to be a trend there. I mean, Trevor brought out his gin as well, and I mean, Malcolm and Stephen have got their Bomb Squad lager. When are we going to see Ox's? What's going to be your signature one?
I don't know yet. Everything has its own timing. Just have to wait for the right time and see. Might probably like a bakery or something. I don't know.
I seem to recall a shooter called what's it, a chocolate cake from my younger days. I think it's probably still doing the round. So best
I don't know that
best
one,
to investigate that. Sorry.
I just might.
Listen, thanks for your time. Obviously, it's a long season, and you've done other interviews today. Thanks for giving us some time. I hope it was fun for you. It was a lot of fun for us. And yeah, and good luck for the season. And I'm sure we'll chat to you sometime soon again.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me here. And yeah, I enjoyed the interview, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day as well, guys.
Thanks, Ox.
Thanks, Ox. We'll chat later. Cheers, man.
Cheers.